found even more markers.
Really? Where were they?
They were in this zip pouch. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. First off, I want to apologize if my voice is a little weird. I do have a bit of a cold, but I did want to make sure that I got this video out for you guys. So today I'll be filling out my Copic color chart, and I actually have a funny story to go along with this, so I will get into that, but I figured why not show you guys what colors I have in my Copic collection, as well as you can also see my collection of my Prismacolor markers as well. And I do also want to get into, if you want to start getting into markers, how to kind of slowly build your collection, because they are expensive and you do unfortunately need a lot more colors and markers to create illustrations than, say, if you are going to do watercolor or something like that. So, a funny story about my Copic collection. I don't remember how long ago it was now, a couple weeks ago. I was picking some laundry up off my floor in my bedroom that I had been ignoring for way too long. And so once I got it all cleaned up, I looked in this little cubby I have built into the foot of my bed. And I used to store my scanner in there, and now it's on my desk. But right where I used to have my scanner was this 36 pack of Copic markers. It was in that first little clip, that bag I found. And it had a bunch of my skin tones in there, and I was like, whoa, I have more Copic markers than I had thought, because I knew somewhere in my apartment I had Copic markers in a shoebox somewhere. I know, real classy. And I couldn't find them. I had been looking for all of my Copic markers probably for a good two months, maybe 3 months, and I looked everywhere and couldn't find them. So when I found this pack of markers that I forgot I even had, I was pretty happy, and I'm like, oh, well, I know I have more than this because I didn't see all the colors that I knew I had. So I was like, okay, maybe they're in my closet. I've looked in my closet so many times, and when I first moved into this apartment, I put all of my art supplies in my closet because I didn't have a desk yet. And I opened up my closet, and lo and behold, they're right on top of my sheet rack. So I was pretty excited that I didn't have to start my Copic collection all over again, because they were very expensive, and I did get a lot of them as gifts, and I had about 71 markers that I had found, so that's a pretty penny. Like, if I had to rebuy all those, that would be very expensive. So I'm glad I found those, and I can finally add to my collection. So that leads us into, how do you even start a Copic collection? Well, I'll let you guys know that my first set of 6 markers I got 10 years ago when I was 15 years old. So my collection has been going on for a very long time. And that's okay. It's okay to take a long time to acquire these markers, because retail price in America, they are $7.99, and the cheapest I have found them online in open stock is $5.24 from Dick Blick or Jerry's Artorama. And while that's a lot cheaper than $8 a marker, it's still pretty expensive. So for 10 markers, that's over $50. So just keep that in mind, and it's okay to grow it slowly. So my first 6 markers, my grandma actually bought for me 10 years ago when I was 15, like I said, from an art store, and I believe she paid full retail price for them. And I don't know where I had heard about Copic markers, but I knew I wanted Copic markers because someone had said that they were amazing. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I did love them. I got them. I got 6 colors. I still have those, of course, today, and they actually still have ink in them, so I haven't used those ones up. I got, like, I know for certain I got a lavender, and I got one of the skin tones. I just can't I can't remember which ones they were. But anyway, to grow the rest of my collection, I every so often, if my grandma or my mom would take me to a craft store, I would ask if I could get 1 or 2 markers, and usually Joanne or Michael, I don't think Joanne carries Copic, but Hobby Lobby and Michael's always has some sort of coupon going on, so I usually could use a coupon and my mom or grandma would get me one of the markers. So it was built super slow. I had also been using Prismacolor markers in high school. So I started my Prismacolor marker collection in high school as a junior when I attended a career school instead of like a regular high school when I was studying art, and I got a couple of colors from there. So I kind of used them both, and I found out that Prismacolor markers are a lot less expensive than Copic markers, and they blend really well with the Copic markers. So I would collect at college Copic markers and Prismacolor markers, and I believe at my college the Copic sketch were $4.75 or something. They had them for an amazing deal, so I got probably 25 markers, 26 markers in that ballpark range from 2 years at CCAD, which is the Columbus College of Art and Design in Columbus, Ohio, and then when I switched over to the Minneapolis College of Art and Design to study comic art, I did collect quite a few more, whatever the rest is, and yes, it was very expensive. But nowadays, I do the same thing as when I was a kid. If I have a coupon for Michael's, then I'll kind of collect 1 marker at a time. And that's okay. You can even, if you have a mode of transportation and you live close to a Michael's, you could even do that every day or go to all the Michael's in your area if you live in a city and get a number of markers. But that is pretty time consuming, but if you're really dedicated to getting some markers and you don't have like tons and tons of money to spend on them, maybe you can take that extra time and get them for $4 each instead of $5.24. You can get them at Blick. So these markers I did get at Blick, as you can probably tell from the bag I got them in, and I went there because they have a lot of the colors. I went to an actual brick and mortar Blick store, and I got all of the quadruple zero colors because I know that Blick's really the only place that carries them. Blick or a Jerry's Artorama if you have that around you, or I could order them online, but I'm impatient and I wanted to get them right away, and it was the same price. So I got those. I did miss out on getting the G quadruple zero, which I did later order. So I currently do have that one. I have collected a few, not many, a couple markers since recording this video, but not too many. So that's my advice for if you want to collect Copic markers. Another piece of advice I have for you is if you maybe get a set of Prismacolor markers or a couple of sets because they are quite a bit cheaper, especially buy them in the sets. So get those, and then as those run out, maybe you can replace them with very similar colors in the Copic collection. That way, when you'll always have that color, but you're not initially spending, the $400 on a huge set of Copic markers. Instead, you can spend maybe $60 and get a much larger range of colors and then slowly replace them with the Copic markers if that's what you would like to do. What you could also do is get the Chow markers instead of the sketch markers. They don't come in all of the colors, but for the colors that do come in Chow, you could get the Chow markers because they're about $2 less a piece, and then you could save some money initially. They do hold less ink, however, so you would have to get the refills quicker, but the initial cost would be much less. That is my advice for growing your Copic collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see new videos when they come out. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.